Let's bring in Charlie Hurd, Washington Times opinion editor, and Mike Davis, former law clerk for Justice Gorsuch. And I should point out, Mike, you also have worked on the confirmation processes for many of these conservative justices who are in this moment having their lives threatened and violence is being called for against them. I'll bring you on to tell us what you're hearing. But most importantly, based on Peter's report, why we are not hearing this White House condemn calls for violence against these justices in the most aggressive terms.
Yeah, the Attorney General Merrick Garland needs to step up. He is a former federal judge. These justices are in danger that this opinion leaked before it was released publicly. There are people making threats against justices online and elsewhere. The Attorney General needs to step up. He needs to make a very strong public denouncement of this. This is obstruction of justice for people to show up at a federal judge's home to try to influence the outcome of a pending case. It's 18 U.S.C. 1507, obstruction of justice. Judge Solis just had her son murdered in 2020 because some crazy showed up at her house. This is very dangerous. This is illegal, and the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, Lisa Monaco, need to step up today.
Charlie, this is serious stuff. Why are there not more or any calls, I should say, from this White House for calm in this moment?
Well, it's really astonishing, Sandra, and I think Mike is exactly right. This, of course, we don't know exactly how this draft opinion got leaked out, but this is certainly the best theory going, and this was exactly what it appears the intent was to terrorize sitting members of the court, and that is a grave, grave threat to the republic and to the conveyance of justice in this particular case. Why don't we hear anything from the White House? Because to this White House, the ends justifies the means. These are the exact same people who, for 2 years, we had riots around this country leading up to the last election, and because the people rioting were in political alignment with the current occupants of the White House, they condoned it, they celebrated it. The sitting vice president actually raised money to get rioters out of jail so that they could go back and participate in those deadly riots. Mm-hmm. This is politics by thuggery, and until somebody stands up and does something about it and stops this, they will continue to do it.
I mean, they've been doxxed. Their home addresses have been published.
Exactly.
There are continued calls to show up at their homes. Mike, this is Jen Psaki when asked about the leak and why this hasn't been a primary or even a more important focus for this White House. Listen.
Our focus is on not losing sight from what the content is in the draft and what is at risk here. And while we have heard a number raise concerns about the leak, our focus is on highlighting what the content in there would put at risk for women across the country.
Okay, so let's not lose sight, she says, what is the actual content of the draft, really turning focus away from the actual leak from the Supreme Court itself. I want to put up on the screen, this is a thread, or portions of it, from Carrie Severino from the Judicial Crisis Network. And Mike, I'll get your response to it. Obviously with a clear announcement for a walk by Wednesday, May 11th, 2022, saying there are still a number of unanswered questions, she says, about the Ruth Sent Us group organizing protests at the home of 6 extremist justices, as it is billed, in response to the leaked draft opinion. The website notes that stipends are available for protesters. Who exactly is paying for those stipends? More pointedly, who is funding the threat against Supreme Court justices? This and more are very serious questions that should be answered soon. Mike.
Yeah, this is a conspiracy to violate 18 U.S.C. 1507, obstruction of justice. The FBI, the U.S. Attorney's offices in Maryland and the Eastern District of Virginia, the Attorney General Merrick Garland, the Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, the FBI Director Chris Wray, they need to get on this. This is a dereliction of their duty. They are putting justices in grave danger.
Charlie, I'll finish up with this. This is a Gallup poll finding that 0% have abortion as their most important issue in this country. But this is the moment that we are in right now. People are primarily concerned about poor leadership. That is top of the list. Inflation, the economy in general, which we'll get to in just a moment as the Dow continues to sell off here, and immigration, of course. But here we are, as this leak happened, and now these continued calls for violence, and how it's going to be handled and shut down, potentially, as Mike is calling for from this White House.
Right.
Final thought.
Well, not only is Jen Psaki basically encouraging this behavior and encouraging what could lead to violence against sitting justices, she's also lying about the particulars of the case. She's, the point of Justice Alito's opinion is that abortion should be something that's put up to the voters. And what I think is very interesting is that the White House is so apoplectic about the idea that voters would be in charge of deciding such a thing. And I also think it's really interesting with that post that you just put up, and this is kind of a silver lining. These activists have to pay people to come and protest this. And that right there tells you all you need to know about how this issue is going to go this month and in November.
Okay, so we're going to keep following it for everybody. A very serious issue as we top our hour with that news, and we'll keep following it. Mike, Charlie, thank you very much. Thanks to both of you for being here.